Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. And this is Tristan. He's a Corgi, and we're here for an episode of Conversations with a Corgi. And sorry I missed you yesterday. I was very busy finishing the decorations and doing that house cleaning that we don't get to do very often. I am just so behind in everything. I need like 5 people to help me. All I have is me and the Corgi. So I had to do a lot of work yesterday. And there's still more tree parts to be messed with. So a friend's coming over today to try to help with that. They're going to cut down 5 more in the next few weeks. And I don't know, hopefully they won't leave a mess. And in the midst of that, I've developed a cough, which is kind of bad. Sorry. So today we're going to finish our discussion of, well, we have 2 more things to talk about with animals and hospice care and end-of-life issues. I'm just like snotty in the mornings. Sorry, Biscuit. So today we're going to talk about acupuncture during hospice care and end-of-life issues. So here we have the Accu dog. He has acupuncture points all over him, and they are actually labeled. They're on the top of his head and under his feet. On the other side, he's a muscle dog. But these points in acupuncture are energy centers in the body. And our flow of energy, which is our chi, travels down meridians, lines, through those points, through the body. Chinese medicine is really an ancient philosophy and practice dating back thousands of years. And there is a lot of validity to it, and quite a few researchers are spending their careers trying to prove it and why it works. And you know what? I don't really care. Dr. Upledger at some point said, you know what? This stuff works. I'm going to keep teaching cranial work. You can take it or leave it, but I am done trying to satisfy people who are skeptics and non-believers and trying to do research that they then pick apart bit by bit. You know, he's like, I'm just going to keep doing it. And about 3 or 4 years later, he was on the cover of Time, well, not the cover, but a big article inside Time magazine about leaders in alternative medicine. So I feel similarly with acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I've seen miracles with my horses with Chinese herbs, and I've certainly seen many animals helped with acupuncture. And I have been profoundly sick from acupuncture, which proves that it does have a very deep and profound effect on the body, because there is a change as a result of using the needles. So how does that fit into end-of-life issues? If the chi is the life force moving through the body, why do you want to stimulate that during a time of death and hospice care? Just getting back to the other modalities that we've covered, you want to smooth over any stress and tension in the body, in the spiritual system, the emotional system, prior to the time of death, to have an easier passing. You want peace in passing. That will make the transition easier, and it will help the animal not be in pain and stress. And if you're putting your animal into a hospice situation, one of the biggest concerns people have is, are they stressed? Are they in pain? Am I doing the right thing? And acupuncture, which is fairly common across the country now for animals, can help alleviate some of your personal stress, because it can really relieve a lot of stress and pain in the animal. And certainly there are many points in the body that are very powerful. There are points for relaxation. Maybe your animal's having kidney or liver or heart problems. There are points for all of those organ systems and meridians. So you can really tailor acupuncture specifically to what your pet needs during that end of life and hospice transitioning process. And even if your animal has never had an acupuncture appointment treatment prior to end of life and hospice care, acupuncture can be super useful. And Comet, of course, had many acupuncture treatments throughout his little Corgi life, and he did indeed get acupuncture really within weeks of his passing. And it was one of the things as a dog with DM that I thought was helpful to him. And so acupuncture can be very useful. And one of the great things about acupuncture is that it's pretty readily available and publicized at this point. So you can look up acupuncture points online. You can get charts. You can get an AccuDog. This is not the best way to learn acupuncture. And you can learn a few points from different people. There's a wonderful book called, what is it? I'll think of it. There are two acupuncture books about pets, and they are really, really good. And they have Chinese medicine theory in them as well. And so you can get those. And what you can do if you're not putting needles in your pet, you can also use just circular T-touches. Remember, we were doing them around the base of the ear for those 3 acupuncture points, the triple heater meridian for respiration, digestion, and reproduction. And you can see the effect on Tristan. I've done about 4 circles here on those points. So you can do T-touch circles on your acupuncture points that may be appropriate for your dog, or you can do one of the other things that we do with horses and colic is stimulate the point on the end of the ear, which is for shock and pain relief. And you can do it very gently like I'm doing now. Or if your animal's really having a problem, like let's say your dog has bloat, for instance, you can push that point pretty hard and fast and sometimes make a shift. So bloat is more intractable than colic, but I've seen miracles with that acupuncture point with bloat with big dogs. So you can use acupuncture yourself. You don't have to run out and try to find an acupuncture vet. But if you know what's going on with your dog, do be aware that just because your dog might have some issues in his urinary system, that working with the bladder meridian might not be exactly what he needs. It will be helpful, but just because he's got issues along that meridian does not mean that that's what needs balancing. The whole idea of acupuncture and all these modalities is to keep your animal in a state of homeostasis or balance in their body. And so stimulating just that meridian won't necessarily get you the result it would if you knew that there was also an overlaying, let's say, liver connection. And so you'd have to work with points on both of those to help your pet. But again, if you have an acupuncture vet in the area and you can discuss this with them, you might be able to find a few points that are super useful for your dog. And like I said, there's plenty of points on the paws and the ears for pain relief, stress reduction, and you can easily look those up and just do those T-touch circles in those areas. There's one here in the middle of the forehead. Tristan says, "Oh, that's good, Mom. I didn't know I was getting T-touch this morning." So acupuncture can be a useful adjunct modality to use when your animal is near the end of his life or in hospice care. And it's something that you can easily look up to do yourself with your pet using acupressure or just gently touching or stimulating those areas. And be gentle because sometimes these points can be super tender, certainly on the paws. I don't know if anyone has ever had foot reflexology or work in your mouth or even on your ears. When I have a headache, there's a part on my ear that is borderline painful but really likes to be pushed and rubbed. And it really can bring me a lot of relief for a headache. And there are so many acupuncture points on your ears and your feet. So I would be very gentle, especially working on your pet's feet with this. And certainly around the ears, be careful. But you may find a place on your pet's foot that he really likes. And the reflexology points don't necessarily correspond to acupuncture points, but they can be great benefit from both. So what is it? Is it the Well-Connected Dog? The acupuncture book? I can't remember. But I will look it up and put it on a comment with this before I post it. It might be the Well-Connected Dog. There's a Well-Connected Horse I don't know. I haven't looked at them in years because I learned the points mostly by looking at this guy because I've had him with me a lot of times when I'm sitting at an expo waiting for something to happen. So acupuncture, useful intervention at end of life, and also just for general aging and senior issues, pain, stress. So that's a good thing to check out and find a vet in your area that might be able to help you with some points that are useful for your dog. Just one thing on the side about acupuncture that's really been helpful to me. Comet had a big lipoma on his stomach. He was like 3 times the size of this dog, and the lipoma was the size of my hand. And I was looking for something else on the internet, and I came across points for, maybe I was just looking up lipomas, but there were certain acupuncture points that were quite unique and not ones that, my sister or another acupuncturist I work with had ever said, oh, this is what you do for lipomas. So I used the tuning forks and T-touch on those points. They were not on the lipoma, and it was down on his stomach. Some of the points were underneath. I had to flip him over to do it. I remember that because he doesn't like being flipped because they were like up under his hind legs, and I had to see what I was doing. Anyway, in the course of like a week, that lipoma was down by half, and over 2 weeks, it was down to just the size of a quarter. So acupuncture is very powerful work if you use it wisely. So check it out because it can help your pet and you during the process of crossing the Rainbow Bridge and generally for seniors. So hopefully we will be back tomorrow for another episode of Conversations with a Corgi. Brian has uploaded everything till today on YouTube, so you can check them all out there. And we may be missing a few here and there as I go along because the holidays are just so busy. I finally got caught up on my email. Sort of. I still have like 2,000 in my inbox. But I haven't had time to go back into like the summer and delete them. Right, Tristan? I'm going to go see a pony. What are you going to do today? Busy with horse clients today in the 25-degree weather. I don't know how many layers I can put on and still lift my arms, but hopefully a lot. All right. Good luck, Danny. Glad to hear you have an acupuncturist where you are. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a great day and stay warm.